Welcome to the Panic Button, everyone. I'm Nina.
Welcome to the Panic Button, everyone. I'm Jessie.
Today we're reacting to a post from Gays Against Groomers. It says this. This is how we stop this insanity. Push back. Do not let them into your safe spaces. Women and children need to be protected from them. I think they mean need to be protected from them. Also, we don't care how you identify. Males have no business in female spaces, period. No exceptions. Absolutely, I completely agree. And this is a video they posted right here.
Why are you in the girls' bathroom?
Yeah, trans too.
But you're not a girl.
Oh, we're doing one of these.
Yeah.
It's just, you're gonna just, well, I don't know what to say. I'm sorry you didn't know it.
Yeah, I pay a lot of money to be safe in the bathroom.
Me too. Excuse me.
Me too.
Do you think that's okay?
Why is it always the biological men in women's spaces? If you do not present as a woman, do not go to a space you do not present as. You consider yourself a trans woman? Okay, that's great.
Here's the thing. They think they pass because they're
that's
crazy.
I love the energy, but when you say present, that's the problem. People
Yeah.
have a perception of how they're presenting versus the reality of how they're presenting. I can think I'm a pretty, beautiful, skinny princess, but I am a short, fat, dykey girl. I don't look like a complete woman. I look like a girl still. And I am a woman. I'm about to be 27. So, like,
Yeah.
just because you present one way doesn't mean that you are. I look younger than I am. That's a good example. They
Yeah.
won't let me into high schools.
Mm-hmm.
So why should we let you into our bathrooms? Oh, well, they look the part.
No, most of the time they don't. Like 98% of the time they
feel
don't.
like they look the part.
Well, they also feel like they're a woman, but they're not.
they
you know?
And that's the thing is this is all just like, we have to believe what you're saying.
Not what we're seeing.
And I'm sorry to be that person, but that trans individual, we'll call him that for the sake of sanity.
That autogynephile.
Well, to the point of the matter is you don't know how much they suffer with gender dysphoria.
Or if they do it all, because apparently you don't need to have gender dysphoria in order to be trans, according to the trans group.
And this is why the whole, if you don't present, honestly, if you have done anything to augment your gender, you should go to a third-party bathroom. Usually they're family restrooms where you can go into a single large space and have it all to yourself.
Why does women's spaces have to be the catch-all for the fucking weirdos?
I mean, it could be men's, but nobody wants anything like that. So I'm saying go to the family spaces, go to the handicap spaces that are closed off. And I'm sorry, but they have medical issues too.
She said I pay a lot of money in order
They
to feel
must be at
safe
a
in my
gym.
spaces.
Is what I would assume.
And he said I pay a lot of money. Pretty much, I pay a lot of money to feel space in your space too.
I mean, if they're going to the same place, they're probably paying equal amounts to go to the same place. Yeah, that's
But wait.
rational.
You're saying that like men are dangerous when they're around people like you? Why? Because they're men? Well, you're a man. By that logic, shouldn't I feel unsafe being around you? Just because you're crazy and you think you're something you're not, that actually makes it more dangerous for us.
I think that was the worst kind of thing you could have said in the moment, unfortunately. I pay a lot of money to feel safe in these spaces. Number one, he doesn't care if you feel safe. Number two,
No.
if this person's using the same facility you're using, they're probably paying this exact same amount to use it. So it's redundant to tell them, oh, I pay money. Yeah, they pay money too, probably. I don't disagree with your point, but it was the worst way to move that conversation in any direction.
Well, just be prepared to have a better argument for next time, because
Yeah.
if there's a first time, there's always going to be a second.
And I'm not trying to say, oh, you did something wrong. I'm just saying that that's not a good way to put, if you guys are equal on that stance, not on the genitals, but on money, probably. You pay the same amount.
I don't know. I have no idea where they
Well, we
were.
don't know where they are. They could be at it looked kind of like a school for a second.
That's even worse.
I know, but there's no way it's a school. They pay to use this facility, obviously. She said that.
Yeah.
But it could be any building. Just for example, my old elementary school got converted into something else, and they use the same exact building. So it's not impossible that it's something else, you know?
Yeah. And didn't he say, oh, it's one of those, or it's going to be one of these?
Something, I didn't hear it quite, but...
Why? What are you expecting? It's one of these. What do you mean it's one of these?
Someone who doesn't like what you're doing.
Doesn't want a male in her female space. Yeah.
I don't believe this guy actually suffers from gender dysphoria.
I think
but
he's
the
just a
point-
weirdo.
The point of the matter is that we can't tell from looking at someone how much they do or don't have gender dysphoria and or transness.
Or what their intentions are.
Their intentions with that trans identity also.
Exactly. Because since you can be anything and be trans, right? Then you could be a predator and be trans. You could be a rapist and be trans. How do we know what the
It's not
frick you
mutually
are?
exclusive. And this is an argument I got into with ChatGPT today, is that I see men and women the way I see the left and the right. Neither one is all good. Neither one is all bad. There are good things and bad things about the left and the right, about men and about women. That's it. And to say gays are always good, straights aren't always good, gays aren't always good.
That's very true.
I would say that it's probably quite equal how many bad gays and bad straights there are. I mean, the proportions might be off, but I think that at the end of the day, it all balances out. You know what I mean?
Well, when it comes down to it, the majority of murderers, rapists, child predators, they're male. So let's start there.
I was talking about straight gay, but yeah.
Oh, you're talking about straight gay. Are we talking about gay lesbians or are we talking about gay males?
I just meant hetero homo.
Oh, well, I mean, all bad when you're saying that. I mean, then you would have to separate men from women at that point. I mean, women can be bad in certain ways, but are we talking bad as in violence? Are we talking bad as in, like, causing problems?
I said crimes.
Crimes, okay. Well, males are more bad than women because they're more violent.
So does
And they're
that
stronger.
inherently mean that gay men are explicitly worse? No. It just means that men generally...
On average.
Yeah, so it has nothing to do with gay at all. Mm-hmm. So it only has to do with male, female.
Yeah.
Yeah, and probably a lot of other factors, but still.
Yeah.
You don't know anything about these people, and they act like you should know everything about them, and you shouldn't be bothering them. I don't know. Would you say something to the tranny in the bathroom?
Probably, yeah.
What would you say?
I don't go out a lot, so I've never actually ran a play through my head of what I would actually say. Probably, well, I'd film for sure, because you always want to have, something to back you up. Get out. I don't need to ask this person questions because I don't give a shit what they have to say.
I didn't
Just
say.
get out.
I said, what would you say to them? Yeah, so that fits.
Get out. Now.
I not because I don't want to say something, but because I don't want to get harmed. I would just move on with my day.
So you'd be complacent.
Only because I don't want to get into.
You don't want to be
anything.
harmed because
Or
you don't
hurt.
know which
Yes.
ones are weirdos and which ones are predators and which ones are violent. You don't know.
You also don't know which ones are just really, unfortunately, how would you put that? Unfortunately genetically coded to look as male as possible. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know which ones have a bad hand dealt to them and don't look don't look like a woman because they physically don't have it or don't have the money. And you don't know what the difference between that is and someone who actually is just a predator.
Well, we do know one thing. The majority of them are men, and these men are in our spaces.
They're always
And
men.
we don't know what their intentions are.
That's what I'm saying.
Are they pretending to be trans? Are they really trans with gender dysphoria? We don't know because how many predators have invaded that group and
so
now
it's
we're
hard
in our
to-
spaces.
It's hard to give grace.
You
to the
can't give
people-
grace.
to the people that you'd even want to give grace to.
Women can't afford to give grace to strange men they don't know, regardless of what they're wearing or regardless of what they say they are.
And
We
from-
can't be that naive.
And for me, you're a little bit stronger than me, a little bit bigger than me. Not like in a mean way. You're just a little more aggressive than me.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to bump into someone like that in the bathroom, you might be willing to throw fists. I'm not. I'm not
If I
trying.
had to, yeah.
I'm not trying to. So yes, of course, I'm not going to say anything. Not because I don't feel like it's wrong, but because I don't want to get hurt in the meantime.
Right, because it's a male.
That's why most women probably
That's why most
just
women
let it
don't
slide.
say anything.
And I'm
Because it's
not-
a strange man they don't know in their space that's
Yeah.
dressed different, like what they think a lady is supposed to wear. I don't know. Sometimes they dress like 98-year-old grandmas living in Florida, like this weirdo. And other times they dress like prostitutes. I mean, you don't know. All you know is it's a strange male, and that's enough to be like, I'm getting my ass out of here because I don't know if it's a violent male or not. If he was just wearing dude clothes and he was in your space, you'd feel the same way. But because he's wearing something different and is saying he's something that you obviously can see he's not, that makes him not a threat. I think that's absolutely stupid. It's completely retarded.
Yeah, it's hard to prove.
Yeah.
At least present it. If any woman walked in a restroom and saw a biological man and someone that looked like this in the restroom, they would be horrified. And it's all the time now. Yes, I do believe trans people deserve their own restrooms. I do believe they deserve their own spaces. But until that happens, stay out of a restroom if you don't identify as the gender. And what's crazy is how he literally said, well, I pay to be in the bathroom too. You haven't even done anything to yourself. You're still presenting as a man. Problem with all these trans, like men to women or whatever they are, is like, why would you want to put yourself in a space where you and someone else feels uncomfortable? You don't want...
Because
They
they
don't
get
feel uncomfortable.
off on it.
And then what they describe as uncomfortable to you is something that they enjoy.
They're either sexually aroused by it or they get off on the power they feel, making women feel uncomfortable. Because a lot of these guys, like, hate women.
And they're not truly uncomfortable. They're very comfortable going in and doing it. If anything, it gives them a sense of confidence to do it.
Exactly. So there's that.
someone to attack you for who you are. They don't want to be in a space where they feel uncomfortable either. Let women have their spaces. It's not a hard concept. Why was it until the Obama administration and Biden administration that this was such a thing? That trans ideologies have been pushed upon every single one of us. And before you come in my comments, you're transphobic, you're homophobic. No, I'm not. I just believe all women should have their spaces, kind of like how all men should have their spaces. And honestly, I hope one day trans people have their own spaces. But until then, if you do not identify as the bathroom sex you are doing, do not go in there. Plain and simple. Just to stop causing scenes like this that upset people.
This is the problem, dude. They clearly identified as a woman. They
Yeah.
were in a dress, wearing pearls.
Yeah, and
with
he
a little,
doesn't even
with
need...
a little bracelet on. That's the problem with this whole argument. I understand, and I appreciate what he's saying, but he keeps on saying, if you don't identify, if you don't look at these people, don't get that dog. They don't get it. That does not compute. Does not compute. I get what you're saying. She gets what you're saying.
Yeah.
They don't get what you're saying. If you don't fit the role, get out. I'd prefer that if you went with any other gender besides what you were born as, you just go to the handicap bathroom, the family stall, or the men's room. I'd prefer that.
Or hold it.
But unless you actually suffer from gender dysphoria and have done the actual work to do it, maybe don't go in the women's restroom. Maybe don't. Maybe don't do it.
Also, when you say identify, that just means saying a sentence. You do know that, right? Like you could say, I identify as a woman. Does it mean they do? No, people lie all the time. But that dude was identifying as a woman.
In that moment.
By this, I don't know, gay Christian's logic, he deserves to be in the women's restroom? No, he
Well,
doesn't.
he identifies like that. And the thing is that they believe in this gender fluidity bullshit, so he can walk in there with a dress and walk out in jeans, and nobody has the right to say anything because he's gender fluid.
Gender used to mean sex. Now it just means a personality trait that can infringe on other people's rights if they want to.
This is a
I
crazy
think that's
thing.
a privilege and it's a power that they wield over a lot of women, and a lot of women don't say anything because they're scared because they're men. And most of these guys don't pass, but they identify as passing. That doesn't give them the right to be in our spaces. There's laws for biological sex for women. Biological women, we have laws for us. So we have sports and we have our own spaces because women shouldn't be in
Segregated.
spaces with men when we are vulnerable. I think that
shouldn't-
should be absolutely logical thinking.
Women should have segregated spaces that have been given to them for hundreds of years. For hundreds of years, we have had women's only bathrooms, women's only schools. We had there are many arguments to be made about the differences between boys and girls. Many. But as far as the privacy argument, if you are straight, do you want to change in front of the boys? Do you want the boys to watch you change? Have you ever had someone walk in on you changing? I have. Now, we've all gotten used to changing around the people that we grew up with, right? Now, when someone walks in, you get uncomfortable. It's a level of comfort that we're just not okay with. And you guys say that consent is key. Where's the consent?
There wasn't a giant consensus that all women said, yeah, men could be in here if they say there's something that they're not.
That
There was no
consensus
giant
was
consensus.
apparently when Biden was elected. He said Obama, but I don't remember this being nearly as big
These
of a problem during Obama's
These
era.
politicians made decisions for women without our consent. I think that's pretty fucked up.
I mean, hypothetically, our consent would be voting the politicians in, gives them, because we elect them because they have our best interest in mind, and then they do the policies that we voted for them to do. Not always do they do them, but hypothetically, women did vote for what we have now, even the in the bathroom.
I didn't vote for any of this.
No, I didn't. That's why we talk out about it, because we didn't vote for it. Mm-hmm. But in the past, it was accepted into today's zeitgeist.
Yeah. When I was in kindergarten, I started a new school because, I didn't go to pre-K. Went to Montessori school. I think that's different.
I don't know. I went to pre-K at a church.
Anyway, started this new school, and they had boys and girls bathroom in the classroom because it was a bigger classroom. And the school had pre-K, so a lot of the kids who went to pre-K and then were in this kindergarten class had already known each other, but I didn't know any of these kids. So I went pee in the bathroom, and it was the boys' bathroom, but I didn't know that because there's no signs. And this little boy opens the door while I'm on the toilet peeing and said, "This is the boys' bathroom," and shut the door. And
you know what? That's what you should do.
I
was to the trans people. This is the girls' bathroom. That's your answer. Sorry, I wasn't trying to interrupt. It was just a really funny visual of you doing it to that guy.
I was horrified, and I felt very violated. Even as a young kid, I felt violated. It was completely wrong. But the kid was a little prick. He was born rich. He thought he could do whatever the he wanted.
A kid, and kids are fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And kids do things like, and I'm not trying to make I was a pretty decent kid, but when I moved to a new school and I had a couple of friends,
wait. My point was,
too. You know what happens.
My point was,
continue
with that before I was interrupted, so I have to interrupt you back now. My point was, that's how it feels.
It's just,
we've been dealing with this for a long time. Women feel like they have been violated by these weirdos coming in our bathroom. A little boy did that to me when I was a little kid. I still remember it. It still bugs me.
I was thinking when you started that story, I was like, man, she's going back to kindergarten? What the
Yeah, because that's something that was embedded in my brain. It was the first time I actually felt violated. And I knew he was a kid and he didn't know what the hell he was doing, but still, that's how I felt. Were my feelings invalid? No.
Not to be that person, but today you'd be shaking that little boy's hand. You'd be like, good on you, kid. If you walked up into this person in the bathroom, but that's the girls' room.
This is the girls' bathroom.
Wouldn't you be like, that's it, kid?
Yeah.
It's how times have changed, right?
Yeah. Now weirdos are just going in our locker rooms and bathrooms and doing the horrific things.
Yeah,
and then they post it on their OnlyFans.
Like that Planet Fitness freaks.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes down to it, a lot of these men saying that they're women, most of them are just freaks and weirdos. They're perverts, predators. It's a very small minority of men saying that they're women who are actually trans.
Well, it sucks because you don't want to,
gender dysphoria.
Who actually suffer from the issues that
the rest, they're all weirdos.
And it sucks because you want to be helpful in this world. You don't want to see someone in your bathroom and go, You want to be like, oh, they must be having a bad day.
That is always going to be, unless it's some deranged lady, white liberal Karen, that's always going to be the reaction when you see some freaking weird dude in your bathroom. I don't care what he's dressed like or what he calls himself. That's going to be our initial reaction every time because we're expecting to only have women in there. Anytime I go to the bathroom and I'm in a public space, I'm looking. I'm always looking. Where's the freaking weirdos? Luckily, I've never come into contact with
That's
one.
Not true. We went to the store the one time and we walked past a gaggle of them, remember?
Yeah, but they weren't in the bathroom. I'm talking about women in the bathrooms.
No, but you even said those ones seemed polite at least.
Yeah, they weren't in my bathroom.
Well,
if they were in my bathroom, we'd be having a problem.
I'm pretty sure most of them were women trying to be men anyways.
Yeah, see, I don't get... they don't bother me because it's a woman. I could take them if they give me problems.
It's less concerning, right?
If it's a man, I have to worry about being sexually assaulted, being raped, being beat up, being kidnapped, overpowered because they're stronger. Biology. Wow, everyone believes in science? No. But, it's a reality that we should probably be aware of because women can't take the chance of being so open-minded you end up murdered.
I mean, you can, but then you can't take any more chances.
Because you're dead.
That's the last chance you might take.
Yeah, I think that's stupid. That's not very you're not...
You can't tell women they can't make decisions. Then you're not feminist.
Well, then you're dead, so I don't care about your opinion because you have none anymore.
I'm teasing, obviously. It's a joke. It's a joke.
It's not, what's the word I'm looking for? Duh.
I was letting you talk.
You kept saying, it's a joke, it's a joke, it's a joke.
Continue.
You're not being very protective over yourself when you give someone blind faith. Some weird dude blind faith who you don't know. And adding in the fact that your opinion would change if it was just a dude wearing dude clothes. That's weird. That's weird to me. I don't understand how that mind works, that mentality works.
I was trying to bring that up. It's that you don't want to say, when someone walks in the bathroom,
Yeah.
Not even saying that, you want to be supportive of people. You want the Blair Whites and the Buck Angels of the world to be able to walk in comfort, go to the bathroom, leave. You want people like you and I to stay safe when we go to our bathrooms also. So you want to allow certain people regular access, not because you believe it's necessarily right, but because these people actually suffer from it and they wouldn't harm you, right? Mm-hmm. It's impossible to distinguish that. The reason people haven't had the kind of outlash and the backlash is because they either don't want to take the risk or because they are trying to be too nice. People are too complacent with it. And until there are legitimate safety measures in play where a doctor has to sign off on you having surgeries, then what can we do? There's going to continue to be men going into the women's bathroom, especially men who are not even kind of trans because they want an opportunity at any of the vile things that you were mentioning. Mm-hmm. Like, comment, and subscribe.
You didn't...
I didn't finish because we got in a fight. Because I said, it's a joke. And then I whispered, it's a joke. And you were like, it's a joke.
That's exactly how I reacted.
It's a joke. It's a joke. Why are you saying this? I'm trying to talk, everybody.
You turkey? Like and subscribe, everybody. Be vigilant. There are weirdos out there.
We love each other. We're not going to fight anymore.
Join our memberships to keep this channel going. Bye.
Bye.
Cry